What's going on, everyone? My name is Burke, bringing you the interview with Ty and the Atlanta Braviary. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ty, also known as Tyfighter23. I am the coach of your Atlanta Braviary.
All right. So we're just gonna go through a few questions. We're gonna go through his draft, and I'll have some questions after it just to get his thoughts on some different things. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how long have you been playing Pokemon?
That's a good question. I've been playing since it originally came out in like 1995, 1996, when like Red and Blue started coming out.
Okay.
And I've been playing ever since.
Yeah, that's a long time, long ass time ago.
That is very true.
And yep, I've been playing since Blue came out. I still have my original Red version somewhere, so.
I have mine somewhere in I don't think I have it with me in college right now, but I know I still have it. I still have my red, my silver, I think I still have my yellow. It's like, why do I still have these old games?
So, next question is, how long have you been playing competitively?
I truly started playing competitively when 6th Gen came out. When X and Y came out, I started playing a lot of stuff on Showdown, because that's when I found out that Showdown was a thing. And then I've done some Wi-Fi battles with some random people and some friends of mine and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess you can say beginning of 6th Gen.
Alright, so because you're obviously familiar with Smogon, what would you consider your favorite tier or home tier to be?
Probably RU. I love RU. It's one of my. It doesn't have the most variety of things, but it has mods that I truly enjoy using a lot. Miltank is one of my favorite things to use. Even though he's an NU, I love bringing him up to RU. What else is there? I've used Seismitoad a lot, but he's an NU, but I brought him up in RU. I've used Reuniclus a lot. I usually use Tyrantrum a lot. I've used so many things from RU. Jellicent's been one of my favorite mods to use in RU. RU is just one of my favorite tiers. It just has it's a lot different than what you would think you would have in UU or OU. It's much different mods that you normally don't see, and they can do a lot more than what people give them credit for.
It's a very bulky tier. It is a very bulky tier.
That is very true.
You've got things like Alamola, Amoonguss, Tangrowth. It's so bulky.
But I mean, they definitely do have. I think they sort of lackluster on the special attacking side. I think they have more physical attackers than special attackers. Because Scrafty just runs through RU like there's nobody business.
Yeah, Scrafty's so good in RU now.
It really is.
So that it's good. You have a lot of experience in lower tiers, so that definitely comes in handy in this kind of format where you're going to be using a lot of lower tier mods that you might not have normally used. And so, my next question is, do you have experience with this kind of format?
Yes, I do. I am one of the coaches for the International Showdown League, along with this interviewer right here. It's the ISL. We have our own YouTube channel and all that, and we started a few weeks ago, almost 2 months ago now. Holy crap. And we've been going strong and trying to finish our first season, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm glad I was able to join another league for all this.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's probably one of my most favorite formats now, just because of how unique the sets you can make, or just how you use the mons that you're given, or that you draft. So, let's get into your draft. So you had the first pick, which meant you got anything you wanted in the first round, and you decided pick the Mew. Why go with Mew over anything else?
I mean, there was a lot of mons that I was considering drafting that I really wanted, but when I was looking at what I knew I can get first round, first pick, compared to what I can get, because being the first round, first pick, you get a wheel draft later on. So I'm just like, I have to wait a good, what was it, how many teams are there? There are 12 teams, so 22 picks before I can go again. So I'm just like,
22, 23 picks, it's gonna be a while.
So I was like, what I know I have to get now that someone's going to pick up in those first 22 picks. And I went with Mew because, one, he's probably the most versatile mon when it comes to stats, along with a few others, with having base 100 across the board. So you can pretty much run any spread and EVs to make him whatever real thing you want. And then the wide variety of moveset that Mew gets, he learns every single TM and HM in the game. So you can really run anything you want. You can run a choice Scarfer, a choice Specs, choice Bandit, you can run Expert Belt, you can run Life Orb, you can run Leftovers, like Subcalm Mindset, you can run Leftovers Sub Swords Dance set, you can run Trick Room set, it could be a Rock setter, it could be a Defogger. It has so many different things that it can do for you, and it's such versatile that I was like, I don't want anyone else to have this, because then how am I going to plan for it? I want everyone to think, how are they going to plan against my team? And that's why I went with Meal.
Okay. And then in your first wheel pick, you pick the Mega Scizor and the Salamence. Now, Mega Scizor, because you don't have to run the Mega Stone, can be regular Scizor or it can be Mega Scizor. So definitely, it seems that as soon as you went into your second pick, already picking something, again, very diverse, just because you can do a whole bunch of different things with it. And then you pick Salamence right after that as the wheel pick. So definitely very interesting picks. You get an Intimidator. You've got 3 Defoggers in your first 3 picks. You definitely don't want hazards on your side of the field, it seems.
No, I learned my lesson with hazards. It's because in the spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the ISL yet, I didn't draft the greatest ways of getting rid of hazards on my team. Granted, over there I didn't really have a real rocks or hazard weakness, but I realized like I need a way to get rid of hazards just in case I feel like it's going to cost me the mass later on, like breaking sashes and Salamence being weak to rocks. I was like, okay, I need a way to get rid of hazard. And Mega Scizor is a great way to do that, because I can run a bulky set with Mega Scizor or regular Scizor with Leftovers and just defog rocks away if I really wanted to. And when I was looking, like, the reason why I went Mega Scizor was like, out of all the Megas out there, what's the one Mega that counters pretty much all of Mew's weaknesses? I was like, he's weak to Dark, Ghost, and Bug. Well, there's 2 of those are covered by Mega Scizor. And I believe it was Bug and Dark. So I was like, perfect. I can just pick this up. I originally wanted Mega Scizor really badly just because, like you said, he's so versatile when it comes to, you can run Choice Bandit, you can run a Swords Dance set, you can just run straight Swords Dance, you can run the Mega Scizor set. Like, there's so many things it can do for you, which is really, really nice. And then, go ahead.
Oh, and it's strong priority.
Bullet Punch is really good, especially since Fairy types came around. Steel has become a lot more viable, and Bullet Punch has become a lot more viable. So with a lot of the other Fairy types that are out there, because I saw Sylveon got picked up and Mega Deontay got picked up when it came to my pick, I was like, I need to get rid of a way of getting rid of Fairy types really well, and Mega Scizor does that.
You need something. You just see that it's like, oh, I need something for them. And Mega Scizor are definitely very good. And then Mega Salamence, not Mega Salamence, regular Salamence, not Mega Salamence. Regular Salamence, very good. Good Intimidator, diverse move pool, and if need be, Defogger. But you've got the Mew, you've got the Mega Scizor, and then your next 2 picks, you get Tentacruel and Rotom Heat. Tentacruel, very reliable Rapid Spinner, and it gives you the ability not to have to run a defensive Mew, a defensive Mega Scizor, or a defensive Mega keep saying Mega Salamence. Defensive Salamence. And it looks like you're starting to, round 4, start to put together your wall core. So why Tentacruel and not like Empoleon or anything like that?
Because when I was going through like all the different types, like I realized after this in the beginning of my second draft ever, I need to focus on the strengths and weaknesses of each mon, and if I have a lot of weaknesses from a mon, I need a way of counter those. And so that's why I picked up Salamence for Mega Scizor, was because I resist fire. Mega Scizor is really only weakness. So that's why I picked up Salamence next. And then I wanted another thing that can resist fire. It can resist bug. It can resist ice. And I believe the Empoleon would have been neutral to fire, but Tentacruel is resistant to fire, because I believe water resists fire. And so I was like, such a good special defensive wall, just like Empoleon is. But I also wanted something else, again, to deal with Fairy types better. And I have Steel type already, so I didn't want to try to duplicate too many types. So that's why I went with Tentacruel, because I didn't have a Water or a Poison type yet. And I was like, hey, Tentacruel does everything that I needed to do, and it's a really great mod on the special defensive side, and has decent special attack and decent speed. Base 100 speed is, I mean, Mew has that. Its Tentacool is faster than Mega Scizor, so it's like, Tentacool works for what I need to do, and then Rotom Heat is just a good balance with that. I can make a physical Rotom Heat with Will-O-Wisp and counter everything that Tentacool is weak to, like Grass and Electric.
And Ground.
Because Rotom Heat has a Levitate ability, so... And I believe Tentacool, no, it doesn't resist Rock, but, so it was another Rock's weakness, but having 1, 2, 3, 4 Mons already in the first round that can get rid of Rocks, it didn't bother me at all to pick up another Rock weakness. And Rotom, just the Electric Fire typing is so good. There's only one typing for the Rotoms that is a little better on the defensive side, and that's Rotom Wash, which I don't think got drafted. Or did it get drafted?
It got drafted after the fact by the Malamars.
That's right. So during the actual draft, it never got picked up. So, I could have picked that up later on, but I was like, nah, I'd rather have Rotom Heat because it does a lot better for my team. Having a strong fire type with Overheat out there is definitely going to put in some work. Volt Switch action, which was very nice because Mew can learn Volt Switch and U-turn, and then Mega Scizor gets U-turn. And now with Rotom Heat, I have another viable Volt Switcher.
Yeah, so you at this point, you've picked up 3 possible defoggers, a spinner, and 3 volt turners. So you've already put together a very initiative-based core as well as a very hazard removal. A lot of hazard removal. So the next 2 picks, you pick up one of the 2 sand setters, Tyranitar, and you pick up one of the best NU Mons, Mismagius. So, Tyranitar, very good sand setter, boosted special defense, also very versatile in what it can do. Mismagius, obviously NU, not as versatile, but really good special attack, really good special defense, really good speed. So, why specifically Tyranitar though?
Well, when I got to this point, I originally wanted Tyranitar in my original picking, because or was it? Well, I wanted either Tyranitar or Mega Aggron, and by the time Tyranitar got my turn to pick it up, Mega Aggron just got picked up, so I couldn't get regular Aggron. So I was like, well, this sucks. And so I was like, I was trying to figure out what I wanted. I really wanted Mamoswine. I completely missed that Mamoswine got drafted round 2 by Parahacks and the Detroit Pincers. So I was like, this is the problem. So I couldn't figure out what to draft for rounds for this wheel pick. So I already knew I wanted Tyranitar at this point, so I was like, I'm just gonna get Tyranitar now before anything else. But I wanted it because, yeah, it has the stand up, but it's a really reliable physical defensor. One of 2 mons that I have on my team that can set up rocks at this point, because Mew was the only thing I had to set up hazards. But Tyranitar, I can set up rocks just fine. Like you said, the Sandstorm would be really nice. It doesn't really help my team to the fullest extent, but it's still getting chip damage with the sand on opponent's team isn't bad.
Yeah, it breaks sashes as well.
That is very true. And just Rock and Dark are 2 really good typings that put those together, and that's what makes Tyranitar so great. It doesn't get knockoff, unfortunately, which I wish it did, but I already have 3 mods that already have knockoff. So I don't need I would like to have had knockoff stab, but I wasn't too worried about it. But I mean, it gets great pursuit trapping. It's a good physical wall. I mean, it could have it's decent special defense. So that with the stand up, it can eat up special hits pretty well. It's a really good mod. Like it's just you can just go straight physical attacker with it. I've seen someone use a special Tyranitar, like special attacking Tyranitar before. I don't know how viable that is, but I guess it's possibly a thing. I don't know. But then when I went with Mismagius was, I got to the point where I was like, alright, no one's picked up really any NU picks at this point. Except for the Berksam Bastiodon's picked up Bastiodon in round 5. So I was, and Seismitoad in round 6. So I was like, I need a good ghost type. And I was debating on what, like, I could have got, like, now thinking about it, like, I probably could have got Frostlass instead of Mismagius. Just so I could have had that ice typing, because that was the only real typing I was missing. And that would have covered the ice typing from Mamoswine that I would have gotten since I didn't get it. But Mismagius is really good because technically it gets 2 hidden powers. You get Mystic Fire, or Mystical Fire, whatever it's called, and then you get any hidden power you want.
And I think it gets magic. If I am not mistaken, I think it gets magic leaf also, but I might be off.
I believe it does. I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Yeah,
I know
it gets something else.
I know it gets like Shadow Ball, it can get T-Ball. Nasty Plot is really good. It's like if I can get behind the sub with Miss Magius and just started setting up Nasty Plots, then I can just sweep with it. It has base 105, special attack, 105 defense, special defense, and 105 speed. The rest of the stats are all around like 50, 60, so not the greatest, but just those last 3 stats are really good at 105. So Magius is a much bigger threat. Stack of Assault Vest on it and just give it 4 coverage moves. It's just like Mew, it just can learn so many good movesets, moves out there, since such a good variety of movesets out there, that it can learn pretty much anything that you need covered, especially with Hidden Power, and then Mystical Fire, and then if you use Magically, that's whatever type you want, Fire, Grass, and then Thunderbolt or Shadow Ball, and you're good. Like, you don't really need any real moves on there if you don't want to set up with Nasty Plots. So it makes just a really good special attacker, which I was sort of lacking a solid special attacker besides Mew, which can be anything. Rotom Heat could be a decent special attacker, but a lot of people use Rotom Heat as a wall anyways, so it's like, I want something that's just straight, like you normally only see it as a special attacker, and that's what Miss Magius can do for me.
Alright, and the next two, on the next wheel pick, you pick up the Togekiss and the Miltank. Now Togekiss, I've used it in the ISL, and I love Togekiss. I think it's a great special wall, very diverse move pool, and you needed that fairy typing that you didn't have yet to help with any dragons on opposing teams. And then you had the Miltank, which it's another stealth rocker. It has pretty good special defense. It gets very good abilities in Thick Fat, Sap Sipper, and I'm missing the last one.
Scrappy,
that was what it was. So it gets 3 very good abilities. It looks like when you drafted it, Serperior had just been drafted, so it kind of looks like a Superior counter on your team, just in case when you go against the DMR Shadow Absols.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You know, it's definitely another NU mod. It definitely can work. So I definitely see the reasoning behind those 2 picks.
Yeah, like with Togekiss, like you said, I realized at this point I needed a OUB pick. I didn't have one. I was like, oh crap, how did I forget about this? And I originally wanted both Togekiss and Miltank because at the very beginning, like it was originally in my like draft picks. And at this point, I was like, I completely forgot about it. So I was like, oh crap, I didn't pick an OUB pick. And I looked at my list, like Togekiss. Man, probably already someone picked that up. And I double checked everything. It's like, no one picked up Togekiss by round 8. Hello? Okay. And it's great special defense. It grants another rocks and ice type weakness that I already had on my team, but I had plenty of ways to, like, since I made sure that I had such a diverse typings and diverse mons on my team, I didn't have to worry about having another, like, tied weakness for someone else due to typing. So I was like, I'm not too worried about that. Togekiss can just do really well on the special side. It can eat up hits for days. It's a good, I believe it's a wish, it does get wish, so you can just wish past things. It gets, you can pair hacks things with Thunder Wave and Air Slash. You could, it gets Dazzling Gleam. I don't think it gets Moonblast, which sort of sucks. Doesn't get the best fairy type move in the game on the special side, but Dazzling Gleam can still put in work. It's a good special defensive wall, and my only rule 2 special defensive wall, well 3 really, is Tentacle, Rotom Heat, and Miss Magius. And I already had some physical walls, so I was like, a fairy is really good at special defense, so I was like, let's pick up one of the best ones in the game, and that was Togekiss. And then Miltank, I originally wanted Miltank in the beginning just because of its such a variety of abilities it had, Thick Fat, Scrappy, and Sap Zipper, that if I know, okay, he has a very strong fire typing, or ice typing, or grass typing, or if I needed to hit ghost types, I had a way to do that with Miltank. It's a good stealth rocker, it's a good physical defensive wall. It can eat up hits for days, because his only weakness is fighting type, and he can still eat fighting type hits pretty well, if it's not like Terrakion or something, which the Bastiodons have. But like if it's a minor fighting type, like I think it can eat up a hit from a Scrafty, that's for sure. Like a Drain something from a Scrafty, it can eat up the hit, and I can T-Wave it or something like that, and just try to lower it down and stuff like that. But it gets Milk Drink, one of a really good way of regaining HP. Also gets Heal Bell, as well as Miss Magius and Togekiss. I think Togekiss gets Heal Bell.
Yes, it does.
So I picked up, I didn't realize till now, I picked up 3 Heal Bell users in the past 3 rounds. So I'm making sure that I have ways of getting rid of statuses on my Mons. I realized in my last league, unless I have a way of on Mons is paralyzed, there's not much that you really can do at that point. So I need a way to get rid of that, and Milton did so many good things. It's such a good utility mine in NU, and I needed an NU pick at this another NU. I want another NU pick just so I can make sure I can get good picks later on, and that's why I went with Milton.
Okay. So your last 2 picks for the draft were Virizion and Diggersby. Now, Diggersby, I can definitely... Diggersby, strong ground type / normal type. It's your mascot, so I can obviously see why you picked it. And it didn't go until the last round, which is, kind of surprising because it is, I think, one of the better BL picks. And then you also had Virizion, which covered one of the last two typings that you didn't have yet in Grass and Fighting. So why exactly Virizion, not some other Grass or Fighting type?
I'm with Virizion due to I really want to make sure I had Grass and Fighting. I really need both of those because if I had a Grass and if I had both those typings, it covers a lot of things. One, I needed a Grass type for my Fire, Water, Grass core, and then Fighting type. You can't go wrong with a good Fighting type, even though Virizion has base 90 physical attack, base 90 special attack, and I think he's base like 135 special defense. So he can be a really good special wall. He can eat up special hits for days, and then set up Swords Dances, or I think he gets Calm Mind. I might be wrong. I know he gets some way to boost his special attack. I don't know if it's Nasty Plot or Calm Mind, but he has ways of getting boosts into both special attack and physical attack. So if I can get behind a sub or something, I know I can do a lot of work with it. And it's not the greatest mon. I don't expect me to bring it a lot of weeks. It's just, at this point, I didn't really see a whole lot that really covered both of those typings that I really wanted. The only other Grass Fighting type I know of is Chestnut, and I believe that got picked up already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was already picked up.
Yeah, and I didn't have enough points for it anyways, because I knew I needed a RU pick and I didn't need a BL pick, but there wasn't really anything below that. I mean, I could have gone to UU and picked Chestnut if it wasn't picked up, and I had to go with another UU pick for the next round. But I mean, I like Virizion. I've used it in RU. It can do some really good work. It's very situational. I'll admit that, and it's probably the worst draft pick in my opinion on my team. But it can still do some stuff that I need to do. If I need a really good special attacking Grass type, or even a special attacking Fighting type, which a lot of people just sometimes forget about, that there are some special attacking Fighting type moves out there like Aura Sphere and Focus Blast, and
I think it gets a Secret Sword.
That's one of his. I think one of his like signature moves. That and Sacred Sword. Secret Sword and Sacred Sword are like their 2 signature moves. So I personally like the Virizion pick, like for what it's worth, being a Grass Fighting type that I sort of needed on my team, because I want to have my best chance of just getting one of every typing. That was my whole plan, and the only typing I missed with Ice at this point, but I'm not too worried about that. But that's why I went with Virizion. Diggersby, I mean, it's Diggersby, like, come on. Huge power, Choice Band, Choice Scarf, Life Orb, even Expert Belt if you really want to, Wild Charge, Return, Earthquake, it gets U-Turn, it just gets, like, granted it does sort of have a bit of a 4-move syndrome. It can only really learn only a certain amount of moves, but it still hits like a truck. It hits more than the Azumarill does. So if you want to have an Azumarill out there, I can probably eat a Aqua Jet from this thing, maybe 1 if I like maxed out his HP, and then hit you with a max Twist Banded Wild Charge. Goodbye Azumarill. So I was happy with the Diggersby pick, not just because it was my mascot, but like it was between this and Zygarde, and I was thinking, do I want another Fire type weakness or another Ice type weakness? And I only had at least 2 mons or two mons that at least were weak to ice. I only had one mon weak to fighting. I had an immunity to fighting, but I didn't really have an immunity to ice. So I was like, I had a 4 times weakness to fighting, which in Tyranitar which sort of sucked. But I feel like I would be okay with getting another fire type, maybe another fighting type weakness, just because I have ways of getting around that better than an ice type. And there wasn't a whole lot of really great ice types picked up. I mean, there really aren't. Granted, there aren't really a whole lot in general.
Besides,
but,
like Weavile, Mamoswine are like the 2 best.
Yeah, those really those 2 are really the 2 best out there. Everything else sort of mediocre. Not to brag, that's why if I could go back and switch up Miss Magius for something else, I'd probably will try to pick up Frostlass, just because it adds another ice typing, and Frostlass can do really well, and do pretty much.
In order to give you access to something other than just Stealth Rocks.
Exactly. So I'm okay with the Diggersby pick and the Virizion pick, but there are better picks I could have picked up out there. But at that point, I was also trying to round out the typings that I needed, and that's why I picked those picks.
All right. Well, you definitely have a very solid draft. One of the at least when I put in the power rankings, one of the top 6 drafts. So
thank you.
Very solid draft. You already said what you think your worst pick was, and that was Virizion. What would you say was like your best pick? Maybe highest value, just your favorite pick?
Probably the Mega Scizor pick. Even though Mew was number 1, overall, overall pick that I made, Mega Scizor was my favorite pick, just because Mega Scizor and regular Scizor is a big threat to a lot of teams. I'm looking at it, it can do a lot to Terrakion. I'm just looking at the first couple picks. Do a lot to Terrakion, can do a lot to Mega Deontay.
Yeah.
Can't really touch Chelsea Chandies too much. It can hit the Weavile and the Azumarill really well. It can hit can't really do much to the Vespin Park Rangers. It can hit Mega Aerodactyl for something, which is nice. But the Texas Rhyhorns, it can hit Sylveon. It hits Cresselia, hit Chansey pretty well for good, strong physical attacking. For the DMR Shadow Absols, I can hit something against Surpuff. Latias I can do a lot of damage to. And then the Magmortars, Kieran Black I can do a lot to. Meg Gardevoir I can do a lot to. The Squamalamar is not a whole lot there. That's going to be a tough battle to do for Mega Scizor. And then Washington Red Shells, Hydreigon, Starmie, Victini sort of I can do some damage to, I guess, with a U-turn or something. But Mega Scizor can do just so much, being Choice Banded or being regular Mega Scizor or Sword Dance or anything like that. It's such a diverse of what I can do with it. I feel like it's the best pick of my team.
Alright. And who are you looking forward to most battle? Who are you looking forward the most to battling?
That's a tough one. Before the draft, I was excited to go against Hayden just because he's of the Texas Rhyhorns, just because he's from the same league as us. After the draft, no. I don't want to go against him.
Is he who you're not looking forward to battling at all?
Yeah, he's who I'm not looking forward to battle at all. Right. Just due to the fact that I had to face him week 1, so I'm glad to get him out of the way. But the team is too bulky.
It's the definition of bulk.
Yeah, literally. But I think the team that I'm most excited to go against is probably Nick. I feel like I have a good matchup against his team. And I feel like I can do a lot of work against his team, and so I'm excited to go against Nick for whenever I face the Iowa Focus Energy.
All right. Well, you're definitely going to be a big threat this league, especially with that kind of draft. And I'm excited to seeing how well you do this season.
Thank you.
But that's all I got for today. My name is Burke, joined by the Atlanta Braviary. I'll see y'all later.
Bye.